Hello, future Hemant. And today our topic will be about Androids and Apples. Which phone is better? Which phone should you get? So, before starting the video, let's state the facts. Apple is better than Android. Android is cheaper than Apple, a lot cheaper, and at the same time offering almost everything what an iPhone does. So, first, the base facts are pretty clear to choose between Apple or Android. If you're tight on budget, or if you say budget even matters a little bit, then go for an Android. If you just want the best, like the best for yourself, go for Apple. What to avoid? Avoid avoid top end Androids. And what to avoid from Apple? Avoid the low end Apple phones like SE or 10. Don't buy an SE or 10 just to save money. If you really want to save money, go to the second hand market. Apple's second hand market is really good because Apples are made to last long. And since there are these ultra rich people who get a new iPhone every year, they'll be selling off their old ones just to get rid of them for low prices, and they work really well. iPhones are made to last for years, like let's say 4 to 5 years. So if someone's selling a 1 year old iPhone, you should completely go and buy it. The only problem is battery, but that can be managed. Whereas for Androids, avoid the high end Android phones, the ones that cost 60, 70,000. It's pointless going for those because they offer too much of the specs that you're never going to use. And compared to mid-range or lower mid-range Androids, the value for money reduces a lot. I mean, if you increase your budget from, let's say, 15,000 to 20,000, you get a lot of newer features for your phone. But let's say if you increase from 20 to 40,000, you only get slight improvements. Let's say a little bit in camera, a little bit RAM, a little bit more storage. And also, if you go to high end, let's say 40,000 to 70,000, your rewards are going to be even more diminishing. You're going to pay like about 10,000 just for a slightly better camera sensor. So it's not worth it. And also, Apple not only has extreme specs, it also has optimization to use them perfectly. That's why again I say high end Androids are waste, because even after having all those max settings, the software is still not designed to utilize them properly. So there's really no point going for a high end Android. Apple goes low on some of the key factors, let's say RAM and let's say camera. It doesn't have such huge camera sensor, doesn't have a load of RAM, because it only optimizes and chooses only that the things that are required for you. So you will get better specs on an Android phone, but in an iPhone, you're gonna get a better experience, and that's what matters when you're using your phone every day, right? And don't go for this gaming phone scam. any mid any mid to low mid range phone can play all kinds of game on the mark. There's no reason you go for those Asus ROG 5 and all that bullshit. There's really no point going so overboard on your specs just for a better gaming performance, because all mid range phones can offer the same experience with games. And also, the games that are on the App Store and Play Store re- are less demanding. They don't need that much processor or RAM to run smoothly. They run on the smoothest settings, even with let's say a 4 GB RAM or an hexa core processor. Even if it's like Snapdragon 700, all games are made to run in those low specs. So there's no point spending high amount of money just for better gaming per experience. Also, another thing to avoid, yes, the high-end Android phones. What budget range is good for Android phones? I say anywhere between 10 to 30,000. And if you are willing to spend more than 30,000, then you might go if you want to might go towards iPhones, considering iPhones. 10 to 15,000 is a very big sweet spot. You from upgrading from 10 to 15,000, you get a lot of features. 15,000 to 20,000, you still do get a lot of features at the same rate, but you already have the base features. So 15,000 phone is very good. And 20,000, 30,000 FX, the results start diminishing a little. You start to get lesser and lesser improvements, but it's still worth for money. Beyond 30,000, nah, it's not worth it on an Android. And also, can I, if you're used to the Apple environment, go for an iPhone. But again, avoid the SE and iPhone 10. If you're used to an Android, then just stick with Androids. If you want the best experience on an Android, still don't go for high-end Androids. Just buy a mid-range Android. And also, yeah, and that's about it. So, and also one last point I want to say is that I'm done. I'm done. What else do I have to say? Let me just think. Yes, I wanted to say about this thing. Are Androids as good as Apple's? So what I say is that that's what I said in the beginning. Even if you care a little bit about your budget, go for an Android, because Android phones nowadays come very close to Apple's, especially Android phones that are like one third the cost of an iPhone. So let's say a Poco M2 Pro that only costs like 12,000, and it's pretty good, decent performance. It comes close to, I can say, iPhone 10. It comes pretty close to iPhone 10 in performance. It's just a little bit below that. And also remember the fact that iPhone 10s used to be sold at about 70 to 80,000 when they were first released. The Poco M2 Pro that I've seen now comes for 13,000. So yeah, you can get nearly the same features for a heavy reduction in price. And if you ask me, I'd go for the best. I'd go for an iPhone. But if I'm not able to get an iPhone, then I'd go for a mid-range Android. So yeah. And if you're really going for an iPhone, go for the top ends. Like, try to get a Pro or a normal one. Avoid the mini, iPhone 12 mini. Its battery life is horrible, and it does matter a lot. Avoid the in iPhone 12 and 12 Pro, avoid the Pro. If you're going for a Pro, then go for the Pro Max, because just one more camera, paying like 10,000 more just for a extra camera, it doesn't make sense. While you can just pay another 5,000 and get much more better features, better battery. The camera lens is also improve. There's an improvement in that. There's an improvement in screen and all that. So yeah. So that ends the topic.